Assalamualaikum. I am Muhammad Badul Iman bin Badul Hisham. This is our video presentation for our Human Resource Management course. So this is for the chapter 1, Opportunities and Challenges of Human Resource Management. This is the table of contents for this video presentation. So for the first part, human capital and organizational culture. So the definition of human capital is the economic value of an employee's collective knowledge, skills, and capabilities. So the success of any companies against their competitors in their market depends on the management of their human capital. It is the responsibility of any manager to increase the human capital of their company by encouraging the growth of competency of their subordinates. And moving on to organizational culture, its definition is the values, beliefs, and behavior shared by the employees of any company. So, this particular aspect can change widely between different companies. However, in general, it serves to guide the employees of an organization to align their behaviors with the company's goals. So, human resource management and globalization. So, a good company can directly involve itself in the global market by importing and exporting goods and services. However, if not reinforced, the national identities of companies and their products can start to blur. Free trade agreements made between nations have also helped fasten the pace of globalization, and the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade GATT have paved the way for the formation of major trade agreements and institutions which are continuously changing. So in HRM, you do have to watch out for these changes. Of course, in terms of international relations and trade, it does tend to change over time and quite chaotically. So that is something that you need to keep in mind.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Mom Azim Abdul. So today I'm going to talk about how globalization affects HR. So first of all, HR deals with different geographies. Employees may work in different places and time zone. Second one is the different cultures. So people may have different way of working. For the third one is each country has different employment laws. So HR must follow all the rules. Next, countries also have different business practice, which is HR need to understand. And finally, there are different safety standards, so HR must make sure all employees are safe. To handle this challenge, HR uses several solutions, such as one solution is relocating managers to other countries, and another one is training foreign managers so they understand the company's policies. For globalization also affect workforce strategies such as downsizing means reducing the number of jobs, and the other one is outsourcing means giving work to outside companies, and lastly offshoring means sending job to other countries.
Alright, for technology's effects on HRM, the recent advancements in informational technology have caused information explosion, which many companies have been able to take advantage of. So, one of the examples of technology used in HRM is computer networks, which is used in basically any company that use any forms of electronics. There's also social media networkings, which is good for recruiting or for advertising positions or products, services. And of course, there's video conferencing. I'm sure everyone is familiar with this and has used this. However, technology have caused a reduction in low skills job and increase in high skilled jobs. This is because workers are now expected to be responsible for the planning, decision making, and the problem solving processes of their roles, aside from just the physical execution of their work. So this leads to an increase in necessity of knowledge based training and virtual learning. There's also the HRIS, which stands for the Human Resource Information System. So this is a system that is computerized to provide current and accurate HR-related data to assist in decision making and workforce control. So it can be used to access employee records, track and promote employees, automate the payroll processing, and administer benefits programs, and recruit, screen, pre-test uh, applicants online. So this is a very powerful tool intended to provide HR personnel with analytical information that can be used to assist in the implementation of a company's strategic direction. All right. So next part is productivity. So labor costs are often a company's largest expenditure. In order to lower these costs, a company must increase their employee productivity. So the fact is that employee productivity depends on is a combination of employees' abilities, the motivation and their work environment, and the technology that they use to work. So productivity can be defined as the output gained by a fixed amount of inputs. So, following this perspective, productivity within a company can be increased by reducing their inputs or by decreasing employees' productivity by investing more human or physical capital. So, here's our ways for human resource part of a company to manage the productivity of the employees. So these are the ways to reduce the input of the company. So we have workforce size management and pay and benefits management. So we have a lot of options here: offshoring, offsourcing, nearshoring. Mostly these are to reduce costs, right? By getting cheaper, employees that require less pay, or just reducing the amount of employees the company have. So overall, for the workforce size management, these are intended to reduce the cost of wages. And the same can be said for the pay and benefits. Charging employees higher premiums, insurance premiums to cover the spouses can save money. Performance-based pay can help to motivate employees and to save a little bit money for the company. And non-monetary based benefits can, of course, well, further further reduce the cost of wages. So like that. Right. So these are employee challenges such as job security, healthcare, employee rights, and diversity. Some of this will be touched upon on the later slides. Right.
So next, the responding to the demographic and diversity challenges of workforce. To forecast trends to support their objective, HR managers identify the capabilities of demographic group and how effectively each is represented in fast and slow growing jobs. The labor force participant rate, the number of individual employed or actively looking for work, is dropping in the United States and is active and anticipate to continue to fall due to declining birth rates and the aging US population. So let's talk about the US labor force participation rates over time. As you can see, the graph are included. So the rate peaked in 2000 at about 67%. However, many people drop out of the job market. By 2050, the US burnout of Labour Statistics (BLS) predict the labour force participation rate will be about 60.2%. Let's move to the ethnic and racial diversity. US workers are becoming more diverse. For the age distribution, many baby boomers born about 1946 to 1964 are staying in the workforce longer. The reason why, because the better health and the higher retirement age equal to 9.95 to 97 age and economic needs. For the gender distribution, the number of men, there's a correction, the number of men entering the US workforce has lowered and is expected to keep slowing. So now let's moving to the next one, adapting to cultural and society change affecting the workforce. So for the first one is changing employee right. Law affecting employee right keep changing. Equal employment opportunities, union representation, safe, healthy work environment, unemployment and healthy care benefits, pension plan regulation, and lastly, equal pay for equal work. So for the next one is privacy concerns. The implementation of privacy policies, limited use of social security numbers, restricted access to employee files, background checks outside firms to prevent identify theft, GPS and smartphone monitoring, and lastly, monitoring social media content. Moving to the third one is changing attitudes toward work. Younger employees prioritize work-life balance, desire for interesting work, more likely to pursue multiple careers, employee engagement, enthusiasm, and commitment. Many firms focusing on boosting engagement. For the fourth one is balancing work and family. Employees working more hours than since 1973, family-friendly practice, telecommunicating, flexible hour, daycare, elder care, job sharing, and family support. And lastly, help attract and retain top caliber employees. Let's move into our last slide, the role of HR managers play and their partnership with, with other managers. HR managers help the companies determine the best strategies for competing globally, selecting the finest HR systems, improving efficiency, and managing benefit by keeping up with workforce trends and advance collecting and evaluating data. So for the first line managers, the definition is non-HR managers who are responsible for overseeing the work of other employees. The, to fully develop and harness employees' talent, successful firms integrate the knowledge of HR managers with the experience of line managers.